doing today? Out for a morning ride as usual on a Sunday. I'm gonna go someplace new today that I've never been, that my friend told me about. So we're gonna hit that up, see how that goes. Today I got my helmet mount on. Last video with my DF50 SST, my scooter, I had the angle on wide. It wasn't super wide or super view angle where I can pretty much see everything. So, you know, it looks better. So we'll let it rock and see how it goes. But all right, today's video I wanted to actually talk about something that I probably wanted to talk about for a long time, but just wanted to do it a little differently from my point of view. Comparison between the Kawasaki Ninja 400 and the Yamaha R3, which are the biggest, you know, I want to say, competitors in this, you know, type of style of bike, lower CC bike. So, yeah, this road is undone. Hate that. All right, I got to get out of this lane. Oh, it's almost done. So yeah, pretty much, you know, those are direct competitors, and you could say the KTM RC390 as well, but I'm just gonna have the other two, the Ninja and the R3, because those were the ones I was looking for, because they're the most available. The RC390 is hard to find, at least where I'm at. You know, I'm like, let me get a little bigger, you know, something that can do better on the highway. And I was looking at, like I said, the Ninja 400 first, and I don't know what made me see a video about this bike. I don't remember what it was first, or maybe it was Chase on two. No, it wasn't Chase, because he didn't have this bike in his low CC showdown. He only had the CBR500r. So yeah, I didn't I came across this bike and I'm like, wow, I like the look of this bike. It looks pretty good. And then I started to look into reviews, you know, how's it ride, how fast it is, and stuff like that. You know, the typical stuff when you're looking for a new bike. And definitely the R3 and the Kawasaki Ninja 400 revved out a lot higher than this bike. This bike 9,000, but if you get it to that, typically it's like 8,750, I believe, that this revs out to. But you know, it goes well past 110 before it gets to that. So that's what I will say. What really made me buy this bike is the look. You know, you gotta like the bike that you know want. And when I saw this one compared to the other two, I definitely like the look of this bike a little bit more over those bikes. And then also when I was looking through the specs, and I saw the horsepower and the torque of this bike, you know, they were a lot higher. This bike is a 471 cc. So, but when I watched reviews on it, you know, people don't talk really highly about it. But although I do have the 2020 model, and it's 4% more power down low, so I can't say how the other ones were before this model. But if that 4% is a big, you know, difference for the people who have rode it, then to me, all I can say is it's great. You know, so and two, I'm actually going across. If you guys have been watching with me from the beginning, this is the area I used to ride a lot with and you know, when I first started my channel with my scooter. But yeah, going back to why I chose this bike as well. Also too, it's a Honda, and I've had Honda vehicles in the past, and I know the reliability of them. And then watching a lot of reviews, people say this bike is very reliable. So I'm not saying the other ones aren't, you know, but I had this experience with Honda, so that was one of the main reasons why too. Also, the availability. There was the closest dealership to me. I would have had to wait for the Ninja to come in. They didn't end up having the color I wanted, and you know, it had to be either red or black. That was my, you know, that's my colors of choice. And luckily my first choice was the red one of this bike. You know, I can't deny the red one looks just a little bit nicer. You know, it does look a little nicer, but too, you know, they had the black one with ABS. This is models with ABS, and it was like, you know what, let me do something different. You know, this was the second choice, obviously, but you know, I think there's only one other color option for this year, model year, and they didn't have it anyway. So got this one, and I feel like from how it was stock, you got to make it your own a little bit, you know. And that's what I feel, I guess, with any bike, right? You know, the fender eliminator is definitely essential for a lot of bikes. So yeah, like I said, I've been this way before, but I'm going a different direction. My friend told me to go a different way, so that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, that's why I got the helmet mount, so you can see the beautiful scenery. I do like the view from my chest mount, but there's a lot of things that I'm missing when I ride, and because I can't turn my head, you know, I can't turn my body. But yeah, so back to what I was saying. The Honda CBR500r has 471 cc's of power. I always want to say that, right? No, but it's 49.6 horsepower at 8,500 RPM, and you know, it's good. It's 31 foot-pounds of torque, and you can really feel it down low. That's what I really can say. You can feel it. Like, you're almost like you can't pull the throttle, especially when you're shifting up a gear to like first to second, because it will yank you back a little bit if you're not careful, you know. So, but other than that, it's nothing major, you know. Not to put people off, it is a lower cc bike. It's not like a super sport or anything. So that too, and it is, compared to the other bikes, the Ninja 400 and the Yamaha R3, I'm gonna put some specs up on the screen. But yeah, you know, and I think the foot-pounds, that foot-pounds is achieved at 10,005 for the Ninja, and I'm gonna put some specs up for the Yamaha R3. And I believe that's around the same, you know, 10,000, 9 or 10,000. They both rev out kind of definitely higher than this bike, so that's for sure. So you can see the foot-pounds on those. And so also too, what made me choose this bike, looking at all the specs and everything, what also made me choose the wheel size, the rear tire size is bigger than the other two bikes. This is a 160, 60, 17. And the other ones are like 140 and 150, 60, 17, something like that. But they're smaller. And what I didn't put up was the weight size. So the weight of, which probably why when you see videos of people comparing this bike to a Ninja 400 and Ninja 400 beats it, or anything like that, which I'm not saying it can or anything. I'm not, you know, concerned about racing, so it doesn't matter to me. But when it comes to how it feels, it is a heavier bike. It's wet weight of this one is 420, I think between 420 and 425 depending on the gas. Also for the Ninja 400, the wet weight on that is like 370, and I believe for the Yamaha R3 the weight on that is about the same, 368 to 370, something like that. So yeah, when I remember all this stuff because, you know, I was religiously watching videos on all of them, you know. So I'm like, yeah, you know, it's windy down here on the Florida roads. I really want a bike that's heavier, you know, considering it does have 71 more cc's than the Ninja 400 or 72, whatever. You know, it doesn't make this a power punching bike, but it does, you know, give it a little bit more pep. Because when I watch videos of the Ninja 400 getting to 100, this bike is definitely a lot faster getting to 100 than those bikes. And I don't know if it's after the, you know, the 4% horsepower increase, but this bike can get to 100 fairly quick, you know. So that's why when I was, you know, when I'm riding in a group of people, I don't get left, because, you know, typically they're not doing 120, 130 with group riding. You know, they might get to 100 on quick spurts or something like that, but nowhere, at least the guys that I ride with. So oh yeah, this is a nice view. So you guys can see the ocean. So to turn, or you guys can see, but yeah, that's the ocean out there. Beautiful view. Try to hold it up some more, hold my helmet up. All right, for this bike, I really love it. It doesn't feel like I've outgrown the power, because I do a lot of highway riding when I'm riding with people, but even though it's got, we ride a lot of street, and it's got plenty of power for the street. Plenty to make you feel like, okay, I got enough to get past people, you know. And another thing about this bike compared to the other three is that the gas tank. So the gas tank on this bike is 4.5 gallons. The Ninja is 3.5, I believe, or 3.6. Don't, you know, I can't remember exactly. And I believe the R3 is like 3.7, something like that. So this definitely holds more gas than those. You can get longer trips. If I was to go by looks, as far as, I like this one first, then I like the actually the R3 second, and then the Ninja last. But what made me look for the Ninja before the R3 is because I wanted more power. I didn't want to get a 321cc, and every video I've watched with the R3 and the 321 is not bad. It gets up there. It just takes longer to get up there, you know, than this bike does. Those were my reasons for really getting this bike. I didn't want to grow out of a bike too quickly as well, because my 250, I felt like I grew out of it pretty quickly, even though I didn't put that much miles on it yet. But I wanted to get on the highway safely. That's why in one of my last videos I said this bike is not for younger people, only because those bikes rev out a lot higher, you know, and it gives it more of a, I guess, a super sport feel than this bike. This bike doesn't give you a super sport feel even when you're revving the engine. It doesn't like to be revved high, you know. So that's just, and those bikes tend to make their power at a higher, you know, RPM. This bike is more like, compared to the 650 class of bikes with the, you know, they don't rev as high, or they're not, you know, meant for a super sport type of riding, is because of the seating position. Everybody kept saying they're more relaxed and upright, and I'm like, that's what I want, that's what I want. I don't want the too aggressive, you know. It does feel nice when I get on my friends' bikes, and it does feel nice, but for the type of riding I want to do, long rides, I don't want to be crouched down too much. I already work, and I don't need any back problems, you know. I don't want any problems to affect me whatsoever. Wrist problems, anything. I need my hands to work. So, and I didn't want a naked bike. I like the look of a full fairing bike. I do like that. I didn't want a naked, even though some nakeds do look really good. I'm not saying they don't look good, but I just didn't want that. So, but this feels like you're riding like a naked bike, especially in stock form, because you don't get any real wind deflection. I've lived here for so long, and there's still a lot of places I haven't been, but this is you know, look at the Wells Fargo Bank. Everything looks pristine over here. But yeah, this is beautiful. All right, so going over the bridge. good views. So I am gonna get on the highway. That's probably gonna be the end of my trip. Oh, and also, if I didn't make it clear between those 3 bikes, I do like this dash out of all 3 of those bikes. Like when I saw this dash, I'm like, oh yeah. Now, second in line is the R3 and then the Ninja 400. I just like the digital tacks. I do like the analog tacks, but I just don't like the shape of how the Ninja 400's tack is. Alright, we're gonna get on the highway. I haven't taken this GoPro on the highway yet. Good view. Let me get out of this. Alright. Now I'm in 5th gear. It's windy. Alright. I haven't tucked yet because the wind is a lot better. With the windscreen, I don't have to get into like a lower tuck to avoid the wind, but I do still feel them on my shoulders, like the top of my shoulders. But nowhere near pushing my head back. But hopefully, that's one thing about this camera view, is that with the chest mount, at least I knew my head was, I can turn my head wherever. So now I am gonna tuck a little, just to see how the camera looks while I'm tucking. Be able to see better because the sun is against my back now, as far as seeing the speed and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap up how I feel about all 3 of these bikes and what, you know, they have to offer, why I chose what I chose. And you know, if you're looking to in buying a beginner bike, then you know you got to consider what you like. But I do feel like it goes on looks, it's preferences, you know, because you can have the most prettiest looking bike, but it's so underperformed that people get it. Like when I look at the, you know, I'm not no hating on the Suzuki 250, the GSX 250R, but every review I've seen on that bike is saying is that it doesn't have that much power. But it is a 250, it's heavy. I mean, compared to what they say about this bike, oh, it's heavy for its class, and, you know, but it does have a bigger engine than the other bikes in this class, you know, so you can give it that at least. But with the other with the GSX 250R, it for the heavy is heavy, and the engine is smaller, and it's like, geez, you know, it doesn't really have anything going for them. It's not an ugly bike, I'll say that. It does look good, you know, but also too, I'm not the biggest Suzuki fan of their front headlights. Don't get me wrong, they don't look bad. It's just not my, I like the dual type of headlights. I like how these look mean and not too big. It Kawasaki Ninjas were bigger. The R3 weren't as big. That's why I like the R3's front end as well. So, but yeah, guys, appreciate you guys watching. As always, gonna wrap it up. Hopefully, I'll given you guys enough information on how I feel about all three bikes, especially my bike and why I chose it. Not to say that it's better than the other two, you know, at all, because they are compared. And like I said, I don't have the RC 390 or the Duke 390 or anything like that, so, and I didn't look into them as much. And then I heard the reliability issues with them, and I didn't even want to go there. I just wanted to stay with one of the big four type of companies. So I stuck with, you know, got with Honda. And I hear people say, well, really, it was chasing to a couple people that I watched saying that Honda doesn't have that much character, or the bikes are bland, or I don't know, man. I feel like with any bike, you got to give. That's not how roundabout works, sir, but okay. Yeah, I think this bike has plenty of character. Maybe because I gave it some, but it's definitely, you know, I wouldn't have left it stock, you know? Who does that? But anyway, guys, take it easy. I'll be back with another one. And, you know, I'll ride the scooter a lot more. Why not? All right, guys, take it easy.